guys? Megan here, and welcome back for this month's full moon guide. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about the upcoming full moon in Leo on Sunday, February 5th. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let's just get into it. So this upcoming full moon is going to be occurring in the fire sign of Leo on Sunday, February 5th at 1:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will likely feel the energy of the full moon when it is visible in the sky about 48 hours before and 48 after that Sunday, February 5th date. That is when the energy is going to be most potent. Leo is ruled by the sun, and I am wearing my sun shirt. Aptly, Leo and the sun go together like mwah. Leo is ruled by the sun, and boy do Leos love being the center of attention. They do not mind having a spotlight shined on them, which is part of what makes this full moon very exciting. If you're looking for my Leo full moon ritual guide, I will link that video here. In today's video, I'm just going to be updating you on the date and giving you a few more tips in order to harness this power of this Leo full moon to release your weaknesses and level up your life. Because if you do not want to level up your life, then why are you even here? Leo is a fixed fire sign, and it is ruled by the sun. Fixed signs are in the middle of their seasons, and they tend to be more fixed and more stubborn in their ways. So Leos are more stubborn and fixed in relation to that element of that fire, that taking action energy. And Leos are very fiery. Coming from a Leo moon, I really love my Leo moon placement. Let me know in the comments below if you're Leo moon gang, but I'm a Libra sun, so I feel like it makes me kind of like non-confrontational, but the Leo moon, like, I will stand up for myself. In their highest state, Leo is not afraid to speak their voice, to really hear their roar. Oh, Leo's glyph is the lion, FYI, in case you couldn't tell from the Leo. I feel like sometimes the symbol isn't as obvious, but Leo, lion, hello. Some strengths of Leo is that they are not afraid to be themselves. It's a very, very playful energy. Like, I love Leo suns. Like, you want the Leo suns at your party, okay? But every full moon invites us to look at the shadows of both the sun season as well as the full moon. Oh, just FYI, full moons are always going to be in the opposing sign to whatever the sun season is. I'll put up a diagram that explains why, but the moon is always, always, always opposing the sun during a full moon. Basically, full moons are a highlight to then release energy, release shadows, release anything that you do not want to start up again with during that next cycle, during that next new moon 2 weeks later. So that's why we manifest with the moon. That's why full moons are important. Psychologist Carl Jung came up with the idea of shadow work and the shadow self. We all have these sides of ourself that almost work to protect us, but aren't necessarily our strengths. For example, for Leo, some of the shadows of Leo are being very reactive when vulnerable, being drama seeking. They love to be in the spotlight, center of attention, tend to be pretty extroverted, so might start drama or lash out when they just feel like they're not getting that attention. Every full moon is a great time to really look at the shadows of each sign and recalibrate ourselves, to look at ourselves honestly and say, okay, am I really being the highest vibration here, or are there some things I can work on? And for the sun season Aquarius, some of the shadows are being very judgmental and dismissive of authority. We all know Aquarius loves to march to the beat of their own drum. That can almost be to their detriment when they will like blame problems and kind of victimize themselves because of a bigger system they're a part of. You know, grumble about gas prices when really they could have just not spent $30 on fast fashion. The low side of Aquarius can also be very judgmental, especially towards people it believes are like upholding a system they disagree with. Every full moon is a great time to check in with the energies of both the sun and moon sign and just be realistic with yourself. And we don't have to work on everything all the time, you know, because that is exhausting, but sometimes it helps us to acknowledge our weaknesses so then we can see them. And honestly, sometimes I worry if I'm too self-aware. Anyway, moving on. This full moon I recommend, and I recommend this most full moons, but really this full moon, especially because it's in the fire sign of Leo, you need to do something that is making you make a sweat. Like, you need to do some intense physical activity. And I know, like, I'm a yoga girly, so I totally get like, ugh, sweaty, gross, but no, full moons in fire signs, it is really easy to get frustrated and lash out at the people around you if you don't have an outlet for that energy. So I am telling you now, before you go out, before you do anything that day. Really, pretty much every day that whole weekend, you need to break a sweat. And I'm talking at least 30 minutes of like cardio or heavy weightlifting. This full moon, we're going to need to build some heat and then release it. And Leo rules the heart and the heart chakra and the chest area. So whenever we hear the heart chakra, you think, heart openers. You don't realize that you actually, like, your heart is in the middle here. So you can actually do stuff for your upper back as well. I know I definitely have I'm guilty of the kind of tech, hunch, and that can be bad for your heart chakra as well. So I definitely recommend foam rolling the upper back is really good for this full moon, as well as other heart openers like camel and upward facing dog, as well as like locust. This full moon really work on making sure your heart chakra is as unblocked and as open as possible to receive as much information as we can. We want to be open. Full moons can be a really magical time, especially if when you're doing your journaling or meditating, you can go outside and actually be under the full moon. And you might be surprised. Who knows if it's a download from the universe or just your subconscious or whatever, you might have some realizations when you look at the full moon. Another great thing to do this full moon is to write I am affirmations. Leo rules the self and pretty much the ego, okay? They're like, no offense Leos, but there is a lot of ego involved with Leo energy. Leo helps us determine who we actually are. Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs, but opposing signs tend to kind of be two ends that complement each other very well, or two different sides of the same. Aquarius invites us to take a look at how our own very unique energy impacts society and how we can transform things for the better with our own energy. But Leo invites us to get really connected with our heart to determine what even our unique sense of self, what our energy is. So that is how those two signs work together, Aquarius and Leo. I really love that sort of duality of being a part of the collective, then also dialing it down this full moon. This full moon is also a great time to do a burning release ritual. It's super easy. All you do is write down things you want to release and then burn it. Obviously in a safe environment. You can really release anything you want. People, thoughts, habits, anything. Just write it down. The power of writing it down and then watching those words dissolve is really magical. As far as aspects go for this full moon, the sun and moon are squaring Uranus in Taurus. Squares add friction and tension to the energy, and Uranus is already a planet of breakthroughs and changes and almost kind of, how transformation and breaking out of your comfort zone can be kind of uncomfortable, right? That's why it's called the comfort zone. So this full moon is an opportunity to detach from our ego. How are we defining ourselves? And how can you change that to realign it with what you want to be seen for versus what people are actually seeing? Leo invites us to live from our heart and really capture that playful, center of attention, lounging lion energy. So some themes around this full moon are going to be finding that childlike joy, really honing in on your identity and how you want to show yourself to the world. It might lead to an emotional breakthrough or upheaval. You might be letting something go you're resisting. This full moon, you might expect a little bit of drama, especially with Uranus squaring the sun and moon. So things might be a little tense. So instead of doing something like planning a family dinner, this full moon is the perfect time to go to a very low stakes, like a house party full of people that you don't know. Because Leo, full moon, drama, we all know the stereotype of a full moon party. And with Leo being a little bit of a dramatic sign, I could see this as a really fun moon to go to a party and just like be a fly on the wall. Maybe that's the Libra in me, but I think this would be a fun full moon to go hang out and get into some shenanigans. It's not the best full moon to hang out with like your close family circle, especially if there's any tension or friction or awkwardness in your family. Don't do that. Hang out with like your more acquaintance friends. You want the drama to be lower stakes this full moon. All right, I hope you enjoyed this full moon update for this full moon in Leo on February 5th, 2023. This is the first full moon of the lunar year and is a very exciting opportunity to release and move our lives forward. Since all planets are stationed direct, this is going to be a really fast-paced and fast-moving time for all of us. So I hope we all enjoy and can harness the energy of this lovely full moon in Leo. And if you are looking for a full-on ritual guide with glamour, crystals, tarot, everything you need to have a great ritual this full moon. Check out my video from last year. The only thing that's changed is the date, but you got that from this video, Sunday, February 5th. Take note. If you're looking for some journaling ideas and inspiration, I actually created a full guided journaling session for this full moon, so definitely go check that video out or check out my video from last year for even more journal prompts. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.